Who are the defendants? We've got mainly two. The two that are in my brain today as I prepared this as fiber supply defendants is, first of all, at a company that maybe you've heard of called Union Carbide. And then second of all, there's this little company called Than. Oh, there. Than. I don't care much about Than. Union Carbide, I have a real bee in my bonnet on them. They made and they sold Calidria. Calidria is a short fiber asbestos. It's a chrysotile asbestos. I'll tell you more about it in a little bit. Union Carbide bought the Calidria mines in 1958. The Calidria mines are up in the San Francisco area of California. And these are mines that have this little short fiber, as Union Carbide likes to say, it's the small little curly Qs, the little Cheetos that never hurt anybody. They do happen to kill more people. I don't think that they're little short Cheetos. They're more like screws that dig in real easy and seem to impale the pleura lining pretty easily and cause a lot of mesothelioma, but hey, that's just what I think. Union Carbide was a major seller from the 1960s through the 1980s of their Calidria asbestos. I throw that out for you to know so that you're able to identify. They sold to the tape joint compound folks. They sold and marketed their products to everything from Play-Doh that was made and sold, a modeling clay, I should say, to a number of different products. They have an extensive list, which we'll be glad to provide you, of all the different products where they were out pushing their asbestos during this time period. In addition to Carbide, though, I need to tell you about Than. They sold some carry asbestos. It's headed to the courthouse. I expect by this time next year, 12 months from now, you can write it down, you will see at least one case tried against Union Carbide. Union Carbide's at a point right now where they're trying to really play these things cheap. And the law is really pretty good in some of the jurisdictions. I know Charles Siegel told you in his presentation here that the worst law in the United States right now in asbestos land and the worst atmosphere and everything seems to be in Texas. But I'm here to tell you, from Texas to California, the law is pretty good on this. In California, the law was set out in the Owens Corning Arena case, and the judges were pretty clear. They said, it's not just a possible design defect in the manufactured end product, but a defect in the raw asbestos. It's the asbestos itself, the court said, that produces the harm. The court was saying this, trying to distinguish out the Restatement of Torts, Section 5. And the California court says that you can look to the product itself as a defective product because that asbestos is the defect, not what is done with the asbestos afterwards. And that's a pretty good law. So without humble sand, what you've got now, according to Judge Davidson, is the following, quote, Union Carbide, he had some stuff about Than in there too, but Union Carbide made representations to companies discounting any health risks that could result from its incorporation within products. Those are his words. Judge Davidson overruled the summary judgment motions of both Than and Union Carbide on a bulk fiber supplier defense. Judge Davidson actually applied the Restatement of Torts, even though the plaintiff's lawyers urged him not to. The plaintiff's lawyers first wanted California law to apply, and if not, then humble sand, and if not humble sand, then the Restatement. Judge Davidson went to the Restatement, and Section 5 of the Restatement says that one engaged in the business of selling, for example, Union Carbide, now that's not actually in the Restatement, so I broke that out from the quotes, but that's what they meant. One engaged in the business of selling a component is subject to liability for harm to persons if, Union Carbide, for example, the seller substantially participates in the integration of the component into the design of the product. Union Carbide is a good example because they did this. Union Carbide would go to the Kelly Moores of the world and say, gee, you're making tape joint compound? Let us give you a formula that will make it cheaper, will make it better, and happen to use our asbestos. And Union Carbide would affirmatively go out and give the formulas and help the clients and the customers actually redesign their products so that the products would use the specific Calidria Union Carbide asbestos. And that's the classic example of something that would still allow the bulk supplier to be held in an accountable position even under this restatement of torts. So with that, that's where it's headed.